what is going on, y'all? So I posted the video a couple of weeks ago about me quitting my job after a year and a half as a teacher. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a video where I actually go through and explain that entire process and talk about how that kind of leads into this injury, like completely changing my life. And I wanted to give like a full long form kind of story without the heavy production and all that. Like my plan is I just hit record on this camera. My plan is to record this and put it out. You see that it's January 13th. Can you see? I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Oh, no. I'm looking at the other screen. Hold on. Anyway, it's 11:34 and it's January 13th. So if you see this posted within the next couple of hours, you know that I stuck to the plan and I didn't go through and add B-roll and do a bunch of editing. I just want to record it and put the video out. And just speak from the heart. And so let me get right into it. So during the pandemic, I was working in television and I was at Florida State University. I hosted their TV show called Knows All Access. At this time, it's kind of crazy how this happened. Like right when like things were like really going crazy with the pandemic, my contract with the TV show was actually coming to an end. And because of this, I'm like, what am I gonna do next? We had already planned, my family and us and we had planned to move to like a bigger city, preferably Tampa. Like that's where we wanted to live, but Houston was also on our mind. And because we love Florida so much, we were like, Florida isn't going anywhere. Let's try something else, just to get a feel for it, see if we like something else. And Houston was one of those cities that kept coming up. Like, we wanted somewhere warm. We wanted somewhere with sports teams. Wanted a big city, wanted somewhere diverse. It kept checking these boxes for us. And so during the pandemic, we took a trip to Houston while everything was shut down. Like when we came here, there was nobody outside. It was crazy. And we stopped in New Orleans on our way there and spent the night. And to see New Orleans like completely shut down was crazy. But that's a different story for a different day. But anyway, we come to Houston, we go around, we see things, and we're like, this is pretty cool. Like I could see us living here for a little while, let's try it. And so that's in our mind. That's in the back of our mind, Houston. Houston is like, if opportunity presents itself, we'll move to Houston. Now, again, the world shuts down, and I'm starting to realize that those opportunities that I saw for myself in the sports media world were slim to none because of everything being shut down. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I actually loved it at Florida State. I didn't have any problems there. I loved it, my dream job. It was amazing. The only reason why I wanted to leave was just to try to grow and do something else, like experience a big city, like I said before. And so at this time, I'm thinking like, well, if they give me an opportunity to go back, I'll just go back to FSU because, like I said, everything else is shut down right now. I got to take that. I'm comfortable where I'm at, so I'll just take that. And so there was like a 2 to 3 month span maybe where I didn't hear from FSU. I didn't hear from anybody. I'm like, what's going on? And the most important thing was my wife was pregnant with twins. And so I was kind of in panic mode. I'm thinking like, okay, I got to do something because like we got 2 additional people that are about to be here. And so, I'm kind of taking this time to decompress. I'm thinking about what my next moves are. I kind of stopped putting feelers out there because like, again, I'm thinking like, I'm just going to go back to Florida State and stay where I'm at for right now. And I get a call and it's from executive producer at Florida State. And he's like, Jay, I just want to let you know I would love to have you back. This is crazy times right now. We're letting people off, but we would love to have you back. You're probably going to have to do X, Y, and Z as well. But I would love to have you back here. And I told him my situation and everything that I was going through my mind. Everything I just told y'all, I told him. And I'm like, let me sit on it for a little bit. And so he hit me back. And what happened was the executive producer that I'm talking about, he actually worked in Houston for many years. He did TV here in the Houston area. He worked with the Rockets, the Astros. Lord forgive me, I forgive all the teams. I forget the teams here. Rockets, Astros, Texans. So he worked with those teams here, and he was very familiar with the area. And we always used to kind of talk about Houston. And he was like, it'd be a good opportunity for you. And so he called me back after offering me to come back to Florida State. He called me back while I'm thinking about it, maybe a week later, and he's like, man, I would love to have you back here, but I think there's also a good opportunity in Houston for you. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, this school needs a audio video teacher. I almost hung up the phone, like right then. I'm like, bro, teacher is nowhere in anything that I'm trying to do. Like, why are you calling me about, about being a teacher or whatever? He was like, no, it's not like that. It's you're producing a TV show. I'm pretty much doing what he does, executive producer, but instead of doing that at Florida State, I'm doing it at this school in Houston. And he's like, it pays very well. It's in Houston. If you don't like it, just try it. If you don't like it, you're already in Houston, so you're in a big market, so you can explore other opportunities while you're there. And I thought about when he said that, and it was about it being TV, and there was a sports element because you also produce live shows for the football games, and they take football very seriously in Texas. So I thought about the TV aspect of it. I thought about the sports production aspect of it. I don't know why I can't talk right now. Forgive me. And I thought about it being in Houston, and we had just left from there. And again, that was on our mind. And so I said, let me think about it. And I thought about it, talked to my family about it, and I was like, you know what? Let's just try it. Again, we love Florida more than anything, but this is a perfect time with all this craziness going on to kind of try something else, And so we did, and it was a quick turnaround. Had to get there very quick. And so if you watch my other video that I did about our crazy move from Florida to Houston, I'm not going to get into that because I kind of want to keep this as short as possible. But it was a quick turnaround for when they wanted me to start at the school and leaving Florida and moving and everything. And so my wife, she actually left before us to give birth. Again, go watch this story. I'll link the video in the comments about our move from Houston to Florida. It's crazy. You need to check it out. But so we get there, super quick turnaround. And it was just very stressful with our twins at the hospital, my wife at the hospital. She couldn't come home. The whole COVID thing is crazy. So this whole thing got off to a very rocky start. I start the school year, and a lot of teachers told me that teaching, is stressful, but teaching during a pandemic was something that they had never seen before, and that it was hard on teachers that had been doing it for 10, 15 years. So they couldn't imagine what I was going through as not only someone new to the school, someone new to the area, but someone new to teaching in general. So it was extremely, extremely stressful. There were times where, honestly, like, I'm a type of person where I will stay up. Like, if I'm working on something, like if I'm doing these videos or whatever, I don't know, I might not even sleep and I'll be good. And I'm not like promoting not sleeping or whatever. I'm just saying that there's certain times where I'm so into what I'm doing that it's like the task never seems too tall. and I could work, forever on it, and not really get tired. But when I was at the school, I would like during the day, I would just be like drained. And I would get off work and I would like fall asleep at the light on my way home, like very dangerous. And I started to get really bad headaches. I'm talking like really bad chronic headaches, and to the point where I had to turn the lights off in my class every day. I would tell the students like I'm just gonna put a little lamp on or something because like the headaches were too bad. Health wise, I can feel my health changing. In that year, my first year teaching, it was more stressful than the military, to be honest with you. Like, it was ridiculous. I won't get into, what I'm saying, the specifics, excuse me, of what I went through and why it was so stressful. But if you're watching this and you're a teacher, you can imagine like I don't want to make this video about teaching and why teaching sucks or is great or whatever the case may be. But the certain things that are out there in the teaching world, the lack of administrative support, the disrespectful students, the extra duties, all of those things on top of what I had going on at home. It was just a recipe for disaster. And after that first year, like I did like really, really have a great relationship with those students. And I'm be real, I love those students. And they helped, help change my life. And that was kind of it was very conflicting for me because I knew in my mind, body, soul, and spirit that I did not need to go back to teaching, that it just needed to be one and done. But the relationship that I built with the students and wanting to see that program that I took over continue to flourish and continue to grow, it was a conflict, and that stressed me out. That weighed on me so heavy because it's like, I know how much those students looked up to me, how much they respected me, how much I respected them. And I wanted to see this thing through. I wanted to ride it out as long as I could for them. But at the same time, I'm taking away from myself and I'm taking away from my family. I come home every day and I'm falling asleep on the couch and my family is just getting scraps. Like, they're like, Daddy, can we do this or whatever? And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm just in a terrible mood. And it got to the point where the only joy I got from the job is when there were days off or there was a holiday or looking forward toward the summer. And that's not anything, to each his own, but that was like always a goal of mine is I didn't want to be involved in a job or career where I'm not happy, I'm not flourishing, and I'm only looking forward to the weekends. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're like, oh, it's the weekend, and this lasts like 2 seconds, and you're back at work, and the cycle just rinse and repeat. And so that's something that I never wanted. But again, I was at a huge conflict. So the summer gets here, and I told my students kept asking me, Mr. Sutton, are you coming back? And I kept telling them I don't know. The summer came, and I told myself, and I told my students, I said, I'm going to go to Florida because that's where I'm at my most, it seems like I'm at my most sanity, my most peace of mind, clarity, all that good stuff is in Florida. And I'm going to go there and I'm going to figure out what's next. And part of me going there is, and I didn't say this earlier, but part of me going back was also to figure out if we wanted to move back to Florida or not, because very early on in this process that I was just telling you about, I changed my number to a Florida number because I was like, we're moving. I always had a North Carolina number. I'm from North Carolina. But I changed my number to a Florida number, and I did other little things that like indicated that I was moving back to Florida because I was very homesick. Although North Carolina is my home, Florida is my home. That's where I live. Florida's my home. And so I'm like, yo, I'm going back to Florida. But I kind of felt like, is this emotional? Is this just because I don't like my job, or, you know what I'm saying, that type, or is it because the world shut down or whatever? And we did like Houston, but this whole time I'm just thinking like Florida, Florida, Florida. And so I'm like, we're going to go back to Florida, and we're going to decide if we want to live in Florida, if we want to move back, and if I want to continue to do this job, if I'm going to go back for another year. I knew, even if I decided to go back, I knew at the most a year is all I could do. I could just go finish out another school year. That was the most that I could do. So I go to Florida, and we have such a good time. Like, I can't explain. Like, we went out on boats, like, amazing time. Just being there was amazing. And we ended up staying longer than expected. I think we stayed for like 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. I don't know. But the way that I felt while I was there, and my mental state while I was there, was nothing compared to when I'm here. And so my family and I, we determined, we like, after that trip, we were like, you know what? We tried it. Maybe we'll give Houston another year or two. But we're definitely moving back to Florida. We knew when we took that trip, we knew, all right, we're moving back to Florida. Like, this is just us. It's just us.